Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another of my reacting to my predictions, because this is going to be terrible. I'm going to tell you right now, this is just going to be so far off. You might think I was joking with my predictions, to be honest. Some of them I know I've absolutely bottled, but with good reason as well, to be fair. Some of them I underestimated, and I mean, at the time, should have been underestimated, but looking back, have exceeded expectations. So while I open my stuff here, this is the second of the reactions I've done. I've already done League One, that was yesterday. Then we've got this today, and I'll do League Two tomorrow before the Hartlepool United Career Mode episode, if that makes sense. So at 2 p.m. tomorrow, it'll be reacting to my League Two predictions, and then at 8 p.m. tomorrow night, it will be Hartlepool United Career Mode S2, E5, etc. You get what I mean? So it's going to be all sorted and sewn up by tomorrow. And then the playoffs tomorrow night begin Friday. I believe it's the League One playoffs. I can't remember which match goes first, but I'll be keeping an eye on them as well. If you didn't see my reacting to the playoffs earlier, then I would advise you to go and have a look at that. Or not reacting to the playoffs, predicting the playoffs would make more sense, really. So if you want to go watch that on the channel now, and yeah, you might not agree with some of the things. And the champion, I'll just a spoiler, the championship matches kind of went wrong. So yeah, that was a bit of an issue as well. But ultimately, it all went to plan. What didn't go to plan with these predictions, and as I'm just opening these up, I'm kind of comparing what I've put to what the league has ended up as. And I've absolutely arsed it up. I don't think I've got a single place right. I don't think I... Oh, no, I've got one. I've got one. All right, okay, we've got one. I've only got one though, so it's not going to be a great. Yeah, it's not to be funny. It's going to be awful. It's going to be absolutely awful. So we'll do it in alphabetical order because it's easy enough to just scroll through them as we go, and it is going to be maybe a bit of a disaster. Some of them I feel like I've got close, and some of them I probably don't. So take a look at the first one then. Birmingham City. I've predicted them to go down this year because they got torn apart a little bit, and they were just going further and further down. Ultimately, I thought they would go down. I thought it'd be the year that they finally did get put down to League One. I was wrong. They've managed to survive by quite a little bit. A good 9-point difference between Birmingham and the drop. Yeah, that's already already a wrong one. I thought they'd be relegated, and they were. So fair play to them to staying up, but it didn't go wrong. Post this in self promo. Let's get some of the server in. No worries. I will do that real quick then, and you can see some of the terrible predictions here. Bear with me. I'll put this in the Discord. But yeah, out the gate, I am incorrect. So that's a good start. Just bear with me as I share this. I should have done this beforehand, actually. I should have been ready. This is going to be a disaster. It's going to be a bumpy ride, I'll tell you that much. Right, it should be in there. Yeah, Birmingham already out the gate are wrong. Hey, I had to run earlier during the stream. Looked like Buffer was going to smash it. No, they lost. You know this. You were here. You saw it. But yeah, Birmingham didn't go well off the gate. Yeah, cooking with predictions. 5 places off. Not the most fantastic of starts, but to be fair, a lot of people thought Birmingham would go down, so I'm not taking a complete L on that one. Up next then, Blackburn Rovers. Now, this is a funny one because they nearly managed. I'm only a place off, but it's a fucking place off that makes all the difference, which is a pain in the arse. I put them as 6th, and they finished as 7th. Who the fuck expected Sunderland to do what they did? Honestly, like genuinely, nobody. So I'm not taking an L on this one because I thought they were going to be in the area. They were, and by, well, 15 goals. It's quite a big margin actually. I'm wrong. Again, I am wrong. It's another false prediction, and it's not a complete L in my opinion. But the fact is, I've picked playoffs, and they weren't playoffs. And it kind of is. It's only one place, but it's a big difference between that one place. So I'm wrong again. As I said, I looked over this. I've only got one position dead on. So I'm taking the one position and I'm running with it. And we'll get to that team eventually. Blackpool. was not the team that I predicted to be dead on here. I expected them to stay up. Well, it's more a hope than expectation because I do have a soft spot for Blackpool. I was really hoping they'd stay up and continue their way up the Championship. It's gone the other way. I put them as 19th. I didn't think they would be safe, like completely safe, but I didn't think they would get relegated either. They finished 23rd, so I'm wrong again. 4 places, but it's a lot bigger than 4 places because 1 means you stay in the division and 1 means you don't. And I've got the one where they don't stay in the league, and that's a bit of a mess. Again, for me, it ain't going too swimmingly so far. But it can only get better, right? Bristol City, where did I put them? Let's have a look. I put them in 18th, they finished 14th. Okay. I'm allowing myself a bit of leeway on this one because I thought it'd be another season. I know there's a 6-point gap between actual 14th and 18th in real life, but I'm allowing myself a bit of leeway because I thought it'd just be another nothing mid-table season for Bristol City, and it was another nothing mid-table season for Bristol City, but it's just the places were wrong. I put them as 18th. I thought they'd maybe fall a bit, but they've actually, I think, improved a bit if I remember the stats from last year. I may be off on that, but they comfortable with mid-table, which is what I predicted really, but it's just the places places are not it. Bloodweight 1 and 24. You predict the Championship and see if you can get more than 1, mate. I beg. I actually beg. Burnley. Now, this one, I'll take a fucking L on this one, because this would have been one I should have got dead on. And you'll see where I put the other promoted team as we go here. But I put Burnley second, and they finished first. So I think you can probably guess what happened with the other promoted team. It doesn't take a lot of working out. But Burnley, I put them second. They finished first. They destroyed the league. Fair play to them. Only lost 3 times. 101 points. Beat that century. And they're coming back up to the Premier League. Ready to go again. I don't think they'll go down again for a little while next season. But 101 points. They tore apart the competition. They got a bit faltery towards the end. But realistically, they'd already done it. They'd already signed up the title. And, yeah, Burnley do win the league. I'm once again wrong, but I'm still taking half a point because they went up, and I predict them to go up, alright? I make the rules around here. Cardiff. Lovely little Cardiff. Now, I don't think I'm quite a bit off, but I don't think I've fully gone wrong here, because they should have probably finished mid-table with the team they've got, but at the same time, they've had a shitter, to be honest. They've had a stinker, quite frankly. 21st place they finished in real life. I predicted them a nice little 12th mid-table finish with no real issues, stress, or worries. But they had all the issues, stress, or worries, and only survived within the last few games. And if it hadn't been for that Reading points deduction, Cardiff would be down. Cardiff would be in League One had Reading not been docked 6 points. That is mad to think about. I thought they'd kick on and get another mid-table finish. Like, my ball knowledge is really showing here. My ball knowledge is really showing. Lovely Cardiff foolishness. Yeah, maybe not lovely Cardiff. A lovely finish for Cardiff in the league. Probably the worst team we played this season. Them or Wigan, they were shocking. Yeah, I didn't expect them to be as bad as they were. But they have been. Lovely isn't the word I used to describe Cardiff. No, me neither. But in terms of the finishing on the table. Coventry, oh, it just gets worse. It just gets worse. I thought they'd get another mid-table finish. 15th place is where I've put them. I've seen people put them in relegation spots, so I'm not taking a complete L. But 15th place is where I put them. They did not finish 15th. They're, in fact, possibly on the verge of a Premier League promotion as they finished 5th. And at the start of the season, I thought, oh, 15th might actually work out quite a bit because he started so shit. And I thought maybe they'll pick it up a bit and get a mid-table spot and just have a nice another season in mid-table. Nope, they've decided to exceed expectations and finish 5th. It ain't great. It's not a fantastic finish. Yeah, I put them 15th, so it's kind of similar. Man refuses to take a real L to your fault. Never. I will not. I will take my half points and I'll run with them. 15th, they finished 5th. You had a hell of my days. Don't tell me you expected Coventry to finish 5th, Jordan. I will not have it from you. Huddersfield. Is that really the next team? Well, C to H. Huddersfield. I mean, they finished 3rd last year. So they nearly got back in the Premier League. They got playoff final, I believe it was. Or at least in the playoffs. I can't remember if they got to the final. Memory's a bit hazy. But they were up there. And I've had another stinker, as per the norm, as it seems to be usual in this predictions video so far. My playoff table, or my championship table, is all over the place. I put them 10th, I thought they'd fall from the playoffs. Didn't think they'd make playoffs 2 times in a row. I thought they'd fall down the table. I didn't think they'd fucking stumble their way down to 18th, though. I didn't think they'd fall that far. I thought maybe they'd have enough to get another mid-table or to get a mid-table finish. I knew they'd drop from playoffs, but I didn't think they'd drop as far as they did. Most accountable content creator. I will not take my L's. Can we have a stinker? Surely not. I'm not predicting next year. It's the championship's too much. It's just it doesn't make any sense. But Huddersfield playoffs is what or not playoffs. Playoffs what they got last year. 10th is what I predicted, and 18th is where they finished. So it's a bit of a gap all around there. Hull City. Where did they finish? 15th. I put them 21st. Now I will take a bit of an L on this one because they've exceeded expectations, as have nearly every team I've predicted down near the bottom this season. I put them as 21st. I thought they'd maybe struggle a bit, but hold on to their place in the division. It was a comfortable mid-table season for Hull. 15th place, and a good 14 points off relegation. There was no worries of relegation, really, and they were very safe, and I am very wrong again. 6 places off was not great. Foghorn sound effect, yeah, it's one of those. My God, some of these are miles off. Yeah, they're not exactly anywhere near, not even remotely close. I did get one dead on, so when I get to that one dead on, I'll accept it and I'll love it. John Michael Surrey still has it, controlled the game versus us. I expect him to flop, I'm going to be real. I expected him to flop, and I expected Hull to flop down near the bottom of the table and just hold on to their place. But they've done otherwise, and fair play to them for that. Luton, can I quit here? Can I quit here and do it another day, please? I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to react to these anymore. Luton, I put them as 9th. They've finished 3rd. At one point in the season, they weren't looking fantastic, but a fantastic second half to the season has made them finish 3rd. Quite far off a 2nd. No real danger of automatics for Luton this year, but a very good spot of 3rd place and very much in the playoffs to face the mighty Sunderland in the semi-finals to see who will make it to the final to get promotion. But I way off again. 9th I thought was being generous. I thought they'd fall off a bit more from the playoffs last year. I didn't think they'd have the steam to go twice in the road to the playoffs, and for a while they didn't, and then they did. So I'm wrong again. 6 places off on that one. We're looking fire in this. I predicted they would finish 23rd and they won the league as predictions. Okay, that's not what I've done. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. They've got the best front two in the league. We have one centre half. Well, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be ropes, but I believe. He got fully shafted with that Fulham move. Went to the worst possible solution or situation in that club state. Because if I could read, yeah, the Fulham move was not smart. But anyway, once again, incorrect on that one. Middlesbrough. Did I actually get... I think I got this one... No, I didn't. Never mind. Okay. I've not got a single playoff place correct, by the way, just for spoilers as we continue. Middlesbrough, I put 8th. I thought they would have a good season. Not make playoffs, but have a good season anyway. Just kind of be like the bridesmaid to the playoffs, but never the bride. Never actually get in the playoffs and just kind of be around the area. They finished 4th, but what I didn't expect at the start of the season was Michael Carrick to take over and do wonders with his team. He has done absolute fucking wonders with his team. If it isn't Sunderland that go up, I would very much like to see Middlesbrough back in the Premier League, purely because of Michael Carrick. United bias. But off again, as per usual, with these predictions. It's bad out here, I'm not going to lie to you. I know there's some fucking cocked up ones here, but some I've kind of got right in sort of the same position, and then some are just miles off. So, fair play to Middlesbrough. Best of luck in the playoffs. Millwall. How do I not get this one right? Millwall are the most... I don't know how to explain Millwall without offending any Millwall fans. They're the most kind of their team in the Championship. Like, they're just going to be in a random position. They're just going to be there where they are. I got it wrong, but only by 3. But I technically got it right as well, because they didn't end up making playoffs. I mean, it came down to the final day, but Millwall didn't end up making playoffs. They bottled it on the last day in what was an incredible match. But I put them as 11th. They finished 8th. I'm taking half a point on that one because I didn't think they would make the playoffs, and they haven't. And it's kind of been more around there as well. I did put them a bit further down than maybe they should have been, but ultimately I was right. So I'm taking half a point on that one. Midwall, to be honest, absolutely. It's a bastard. But it's another one wrong. Cammy Winning gets all of them wrong, but the team that finished 23rd. I got that wrong as well. Spoilers. Chuba Akpom, not just a goal scorer, glides with the ball. Where's this Chuba been all his time? He's had an incredible season. He's had an incredible season for Middlesbrough, and if they go up, it's a lot in part to him. Millwall mentioned everyone laugh. The reaction to the third and fourth Blackburn goals in the away end was unbelievable. It was, well, I wasn't there, but I can assume it was mental. Still a little pissed at Millwall. They have one job. Yeah, they absolutely just lost their heads on the final day by the looks of it, and lost their bottle at the same time. Norwich, I do not hold myself accountable for this one. They finished 13th. I'll put them third. I'll be real. I'll put them third. It felt like it was going to be one of those seasons where three of the same teams that went down would be three of the teams that went back up, and Norwich, obviously famous for their yo-yoing. Yeah, they didn't yo straight back up, and they're not even in the top half to end the season. They finished in 13th. A bit of a poor season all around from Norwich, but a lot of other people will have put Norwich in the playoffs as well. So I mean, it's an L, but like it's not just me who's put them there. Probably they did their job being giga shit. Their associates so bad. Well, at least Millwall was off, and you got playoffs for it. Norwich third. Oh my days. Yeah, I mean, I thought they'd bounce back up, and maybe the expectation was that they would, but in my defence, I didn't expect it to be this shit. All right. Preston, I think I was kind of close with this. You know what? I'll take that. I was one off. I was one off with Preston. They finished 12th. I put them 13th. I was a point off getting it right. It's a bastard. You can't always get him, but it was, I'm taking that one. To compare with all the other ones I've done so far, I'm taking the Preston one to be. I'll take 3/4 of a point on that one. One place off. I did think it was just going to be another mid-table season for Preston. At one point, I thought maybe they'll get playoffs, but it hasn't turned out like that. They've fallen down the table, slipped into 12th. And it's still a good season by Preston standards, but it should have been better. But one place off. It's closest to a win we'll end up seeing. Yeah, true. Preston are a decent club, but they couldn't have just finished 12th again, could they? Like last year, to get me correct. Ridiculous. QPR. I might have been drunk when I made this prediction. I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm going to be real with you. It's... I don't even want to say where I put him. I don't even want to read this one out. So, QPR finished 20th. 6 points clear of relegation, ultimately, but in a relegation battle for most of the season. And I know this is an L. I want to put that out there into the ether first. I know this is an L. But the way that QPR started, how has this happened? How has this happened that they finished 20th? They had such a cracking start. Fucking, you put them 4th. Okay, I don't feel as bad now. I put them 7th. I'm not as bad now, but thank you for giving me that information, Niall, because that helps me a little bit. 7th, yeah, it's not a great one. I didn't predict them playoffs. I mean, if we look at the general whole part of the table, I predicted them to not finish playoffs or relegation, and I was right. But it is a 13-place gap. Yeah, when they lost fucking Beale, that's kind of where it went to the dogs a bit, because he went to Rangers. And it just kind of went downhill from there. But I did not think it would be 20th. I didn't think they'd fall flat on their faces. I thought it'd be still a bit of a fight, but it was not. QPR let everyone down, mate. Reading. And I thought I had this one dead on. I mean, technically, if we're going to the technical aspects here, I am correct. Because they got relegated. I predicted them to get relegated. I knew this would be the year they went down. I didn't expect it to take a points deduction. And honestly, if it hadn't been for the points deduction, they'd have stayed up. But I'm taking this one as a half point again. I'm not really adding up my score here, so I don't know what my score is currently. But Reading, I put them as 24th. They finished 22nd. Relegation was still the outcome. But it's not another correct on-the-spot prediction again from me, which is kind of the norm. Ultimately, Reading are going to be going down to the to League One now from the Championship, and it's funny when you think back that these are the ones that have the points total from the Championship. These are dog when they come up to the stadium, like they start time whistling for about 5 minutes in. Needed it too fair. They've only got one decent player. Yeah, it was one of those seasons for Reading. It kind of all just came apart a bit, and like I said, if it hadn't been for the points deduction, they probably would have stayed up, but. They have gone down, and I don't know if they'll bounce straight back up, you'll see my predictions in the summer, and they'll probably be all wrong again by the following end of season next season. But I don't think they'll bounce straight back up, to be honest. Rotherham, I thought they'd go down again. They're like the yo-yo club between Championship and League One, and I thought they would continue that yo-yo. I thought they'd go straight back down from when they came up. I put them 23rd, and 19th was where they finished. So fair play to them for surviving. And again, they might be another one that could have been sucked in had it not been for the points deduction. I think it would have been Cardiff. Yeah, Cardiff would have gone down, but Rotherham would have been a lot closer to that area had it not been for the points deduction. But yeah, Rotherham, I think Rotherham, a lot of people had to go down. But ultimately, they have stayed up, and I think they'll improve as the seasons go on. These are a sneaky decent team. The New Yorkers are fortress. I bet them to kick on. If they can keep the home record going, then there's no reason why they can't comfortably get to mid-table next season. Half point in shallow at this point. Yeah, I need my half points like everyone needs their water, really. But Rotherham, fair play for staying up. Thought they were going to go down. They've proven me wrong. I don't want to... I mean, they're still going up. They're still going up, or Sheffield United. I've just got the top two the wrong way around, haven't I? I've only got the top two the wrong way around. I put Sheffield United in first because they still have a lot of their core squad from when they were in the Premier League. They've still got a lot of those players that have stayed around. And, I mean, now they've been rewarded because they're going back up to the Premier League. But I just got Sheffield United and Burnley the wrong way around. I put Burnley first and put Sheffield United first and Burnley second. It was the other way around. Yeah. Now did the same. Sheffield United first, Burnley second. No problem. I guess that we're both underestimating Burnley or overestimating Sheffield United. I'm not really sure either way. They've both gone up, so I'm taking my half points for both of them because I'm correct in that fact. So fair play to Sheffield United. They're back up to the Premier League. I'm gonna be honest. I think I see them go straight back down, but Sheffield United are going up, and Burnley will go with them. Now, boys, history making here. Absolute history making performance from me here. I put Stoke 16th. Guess where they finished? I got a point, boys. An actual earned point on the board. This is the 1 out of 24. Stoke, I thought they'd finish mid-table, nearing the bottom of the table, and I was right. So I'm taking my point and I'm running. I'm absolutely ecstatic with this one. They took on Sunderland's manager, and it's only hurt them, really. It's only let them down. I can't remember the name of the manager. I apologise, Niall. But, yeah, they took on Sunderland's manager. He left Sunderland to go to Stoke. And I think Stoke at that point were in a better position, were they not, if I remember correctly. But look what's happened now. It's all gone wrong. Alex Neil, that's the one. I couldn't remember his name. But, yeah, he has fucked over Stoke a little bit. And it's actually worked out for Sunderland as well. We'll cover them in a minute because I believe they're the next team. But Stoke, I got it right. I'm sitting here for a minute. I'm taking in the 1 out of 24 that I got because it's the only one I got correct, dead on. There was a couple I got a place off, and then some that are just complete wrong into the table. So I'm taking this. Stoke, another. I mean, I wouldn't say like good season. It's a mid-table finish again, and I think it'll be getting used to mid-table finishes down at Stoke now. But here we go. The one we've been waiting for. The one we've all been looking forward to. Sunderland. Now, if anyone had told me at the start of the season that these guys would get back-to-back playoffs, I'd have called you an absolute liar and laughed at you and just maybe even insulted you at a stretch. But now I'm the one, I think, that needs to get insulted in this one. Because I have predicted them. I predicted them to survive relegation quite comfortably. I have put them below Stoke. I apologise. They finished... I didn't finish anywhere. That's disgusting. 17th place is where I put them. Sunderland finished 6th in that final playoff spot on the final day. And all the credit in the world to them for pushing on, getting the win over Preston, while Blackburn did the business over Millwall as well. And results went their way, and they've got that final playoff spot. And I back them to kick on and get into the Premier League now, because that is a hell of an overachievement from Sunderland. And like I say, if you told me to get back to, get back-to-back playoffs, I'm starting all over the place. I would not have told you that you were correct. But in fact, if you have predicted this, then you're a wizard, quite frankly. Tony Mowbray's appointment had honestly turned his team around after Alex Neil left, and they surged on, and at points it didn't look like they were going to get that final spot, but it came down to the final day and they did achieve it. and I want them to go up. It would be so good. It would be so good to see Sunderland back in the Premier League again. Tony Mowbray's Red and White Army. If we weren't so fucking injured, we'd challenge further up the league. So how the frickety frack are we here? I don't know. I am 11 points off of this prediction, but it's a happy 11 points. I'm taking a point here because Sunderland are going up and are going up to the playoffs anyway, and potentially the Premier League. And whether it's right or wrong, I'm right because I said so. Swansea next. I don't remember I put these. I think I put them mid-table. Did I get them right? I did not. So I'm just looking at this now. Swansea came 10th. I put them 14th. It's a little bit of an L again. I thought they'd falter a little bit, and they managed to hold on steadily to 10th place. I put them 14th. So I'm not too upset with it, because I didn't think they would get any playoffs, and I didn't think there'd be any trouble down the bottom end of the table. Kind of just a middling season for Swansea, which is what it has been. And I guess ultimately they're only 3 points off playoffs, so maybe they could have made it late on in the season, but I don't think anyone expected Swansea to be involved, and they weren't. And if you did expect Swansea to be involved, I apologise. It's a fucking ecstatic 11 points for me. Had a 17th too. Well, the Sunderland fan of his own club 17th. Alright, so I'm not taking that as an L. Fair play, Swansea. They stay in the Championship for another season, and they might kick on and get playoffs again, but I don't see them back in the Premier League for a little while, to be honest. If I'm being brutally honest with Swansea, I don't think it'll happen next season. I don't know when it will happen. Watford, I thought it was going to be another boring season where they'd make the playoffs again and maybe find their way back up into the Premier League, and maybe they should have. But with 3 managerial changes, or 3 different managers I think it is this year, is it? 3 or 4 different managers this year for Watford. How are you meant to push for anything when you're changing your gaffer every few months? You can't, the manager doesn't get to know the team doesn't get to know the manager, and as soon as things start working, they get sacked. It's an awful season for Watford, and it's literally a manager merry-go-round down there. I put them in the playoffs because I thought they had enough players and enough quality to get back into those playoffs. I was wrong. I put them 5th. They finished 11th. It's a mid-table performance. It is 6 points off of playoffs, and I expect them to maybe find. I don't know who they got the manager now. I can't remember who they recruited. They recruited someone the other day, but I can't remember who they recruited off the top of my head. But if they can get on with one manager for a whole season, maybe they get playoffs next season and potentially another Premier League spot. But they struggled. 11 points for Niall. How many you got? Again, I think I got a team in the correct place. So I'll take that. If I've got one more than Niall, I'll take that. And now it's whole João Pedro to Brighton. Well, I forgot about that. I didn't realize. Is that definite? Because if that's definite, then they've literally sold their best striker. They might be fucked. I forgot about that. That literally went over my head. So maybe they won't make playoffs next season. It might just be more struggles for Watford. We'll pretend it is for the purposes of this reaction, and I think it'll probably be complete very soon anyway. West Brom, I think I tipped them to be playoffs as well. But see, 3 of the 4 teams, or actually no, that's a lie. 2 of the 4 teams that I predicted to be playoffs could have made it on the final day. Didn't, but could have. West Brom, I put them in 4th. I thought, well, they'll manage to kick on after last year and get a playoff spot again. And West Brom, I feel like they're a team that should be in the Premier League. Maybe not, but that's my opinion on it. But again, my lack of ball knowledge might be coming through here. But West Brom, ultimately, they have bottled it again in terms of playoffs. 3 points off behind the mighty Sunderland, who got 6th place, may I mention. And West Brom, another season in the Championship. You got to wonder, when will it be? When will it be that they come back up? It could be next season that they get the playoffs, but I don't know if they'll come straight back up. West Brom, yeah. Seems such a bright sign. It does. I think it did go through, but I'm not 100%. Bristol City, right. I also had us 18th, actually. Less woo. Oh, so I had them 1 closer. But at least you got Bristol City right. 1 out of 24. We got the same margin. I love to see that. And I don't know how many more teams we've got. Just the one, Wigan. Now, Wigan, with the firepower they had, I thought they would stay up. But it all kind of went wrong very early on, and they never truly recovered. And they finished 24th. So I'm 4 places off. But I think it's bigger than 4 places, like I said, because of the fact that it's relegation rather than survival. So they will go back down to League One, probably come straight back up. but I didn't think it would be this quick. If they were to go down again, I didn't think it would be this quick. Wigan's now what I'd love to see back in the Premier League, even if it's for a short spell. But Wigan do go down last place. It's a bit mental. Shambles so bad. You can't make a team out of Sunderland rejects and make it work. Well, there you go. And it didn't work, to be fair. Is this one of the wilder championship seasons out there? It has to be. Well, the 4 playoff teams have probably 4 playoff teams, apart from maybe Middlesbrough, that you wouldn't expect to be there. And the relegation zone could have honestly gone anyway as well, but for the points deduction, it was Reading, and it was a close fight. But it is a bit all over the place. In my predictions, or in my estimation anyway, there'll be people who know better than me how the championship works. But I feel like it's one of those that's gone a bit more haywire than previous seasons, perhaps. But that will wrap it up. So, I mean, it is awful. I'm just trying to save this a little bit. We got 1 out of 24, and the one I got was Stoke. What are the odds? The one I get is Stoke. Are you fucking kidding me? If I just swap Burnley and Sheffield around, man. Well, I mean, it's the way she blows. Championship, they always say, is the hardest league to predict, and it's been proven correct here. 1 out of 24 is an absolute shambles. It's a bit of a stinky run there from me in this one, but it's not. It could have been worse. It really could have been worse. I could have had 0. 69 points should never get you playoffs in any universe, to be honest. I don't know how it has, to be honest, but I suppose it's just this league's been all over the place, like the Premier League. The Championship's been all over the place this year. But you've made it in, and that's all that matters. 60 points is bad, but 2 see MLS playoff pictures. I don't even know how the MLS playoffs works. That shows how much I know. But I'm going to end that here for today with these reactions. 1 out of 24 we'll absolutely take and run with. My half points probably make it add up to about 4 or 5. So hopefully Sunderland will be the ones to get promoted through the playoffs. And if not, hopefully it'll be Middlesbrough. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys have enjoyed these reactions. Absolutely incorrect all over the shop. And tomorrow I'll do League 2 predictions. Well, the batteries decided to die without warning. That's useful. But yeah, controller went bye-bye there, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll leave it there, and fingers crossed Sunderland make it up. And maybe I'll get more right next year, but I doubt it. Controller is not playing ball today, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this reactions, and I hope you got more points than I did. Peace.